Kevin.
Hello, Rebecca.
We are back. We haven't been here for, a week or a little bit more for a Readathon.
Have there not been developments in the Karen Read case?
There have, but I've been saving them up.
Oh, okay, good.
I've been saving them because, they're like little piddly things here and there. They seem significant, but, when you have a bunch, it's worth talking about. And plus, there's a brand new development that just occurred.
All right.
That I am looking forward to telling you about. So why don't I start there?
Wherever you want.
Who is Massachusetts State Police Detective Lieutenant Tully?
Tully, I believe, is in charge of the detective division within the DA's office.
Yes.
So he's like he's like Buchanan and Proctor's boss.
Correct.
Yeah, supervisor.
You mean was.
Oh, was?
Because
okay.
as we discussed in a previous episode, he was actually demoted and transferred out of that leadership position last month.
A loss of rank?
I believe, I don't know if he's had a loss of rank, but he certainly had a loss of job.
Yeah, okay. So, he was transferred out, which you can read either way. Yeah.
Correct. And so he has now been disciplined. Do you know why?
Oh, there was at one point this fleeting internal investigation case, a complaint. Somebody had theirs dismissed for,
It was him.
It was him, right?
Yeah.
So they said there wasn't.
Yes, this is a different discipline.
Okay, yeah. Right? So I guess the answer is I don't know. Tell me.
All right. So Tully testified in the Karen Read case that when he first became aware of Proctor and Buchanan's inappropriate text messages about Karen Read, which was about February 1st, he then disciplined Proctor.
Right.
That is not true. In fact, he actually put complimentary things in their personnel files after this, okay? And there's actually a timeline. Brian Tully became aware of their text messages on February 1st. February 1st is significant because that's the day Proctor testified in front of the federal grand jury. So that's the day that Tully became aware, okay?
Okay, yep.
And very interesting, I found this on Twitter. Aiden Carney, aka Turtle Boy, posted it. That day, February 1st, Tully and Buchanan, and maybe Proctor, but definitely Tully and Buchanan were seen together at a bar called Davio's in Braintree after all that testimony. So not only did he not discipline Buchanan that day, he went out to drinks with him that day. Okay?
Yeah, okay. I mean, not uncommon, but
not
I'm
uncommon,
sure. Right.
But that's sort of what happened. So what disciplinary action do you think he would receive for this? It's a Class B violation, and the minimum punishment for a first offense is supposed to be 5 days of suspension.
Oh, yeah, with or without pay. I don't know. You tell me.
He lost 6 days of vacation days.
Okay. That's kind of standard, yeah?
Yeah. So anyway, Tully has been slapped on the wrist for, this is what it says, according to the one-page personnel order signed by Noble on Tuesday of this week.
Wait, who lost 6 days? Tully or Buchanan?
Tully.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yes.
All right, so the higher-ups.
Yes. They didn't even give him the minimum that you usually get for the first violation.
Well, isn't that the minimum?
No, the minimum is 5 suspensions, 5 days of suspension. These are loss of 6 vacation days.
Okay.
Different matter altogether.
All right, well, he's not getting... Okay, yeah, whatever.
How much vacation do you think this guy has?
Oh, I don't know.
A gajillion days.
I mean, he's been there a bunch of years, so it accrues. It's all based on the union contract for supervisors, so I don't know. More than 6.
Right. He was supposed to have supervised or taken proper action when detectives he supervised were involved with inappropriate text messages relative to an ongoing homicide investigation. He also committed a Class C violation during employee evaluations by praising unworthy employees and failing to document negative performance. On or about February 1st, May 6th, and May 10th, those are the days that those things came out in court. Tully failed to, quote, recommend remedial or disciplinary action for inefficient, incompetent, or unsuitable employees by giving praise in several anchors on the employee evaluation system, despite evidence to the contrary. So this even continued after they testified in court about their text messages.
Okay.
All right. So I think it explains why he was why he's no longer in that role.
Right. So he's either too chummy with the people he's supposed to be supervising, or there's something a little more nefarious there.
Well, he's definitely too chummy with people he's supposed to be supervising.
Yeah.
I think whether or not there's something more nefarious there is a different question, but he's definitely too chummy. And by the way, do you think he ever would have been punished for this had it not come out at trial? No.
Probably not. I mean, you probably can say there are other departments and other divisions within the state police where that's not uncommon, especially if the guys came up together. But I think the issue is that if you think that your supervisor isn't going to come down on you for little things, they haven't come down on you for the little things that they should, one might feel emboldened to do other things that they know they shouldn't do.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah. So I certainly don't feel like if Proctor did the things in the Karen Read case that he was alleged to do with things like video and whatnot, he probably, of his concerns, getting busted by Tully was probably not one of them.
You're probably right about that. All right. So next item that I want to talk about. This is a quick one. Remember that Aiden Carney, Turtle Boy's lawyer, had sent a letter to the court saying that they were aware of these ex parte communications between Michael Morrissey and other
courts.
Who
is the district attorney himself.
Of
yes.
Norfolk County. Well, now they have filed a formal motion to compel discovery of all of Morrissey's private communications related to him and the Read case. Morrissey seems to have sent these from his private email, his iCloud email, and from his phone. An ex parte communication is obviously unethical regarding ongoing criminal cases. So that happened. Another filing is the Commonwealth a few days ago filed a motion to obtain records from Verizon for Karen's mom's phone. The reason they want this, they say, is because Bill Read, the father, is going to be called as a witness, and they want to impeach him. He basically has said that the first time he spoke to Karen, and she said the same, was at the hospital when she got to the hospital that night, that morning. But apparently they also spoke in the ambulance on her way to the hospital when she made a phone call. So they want her records to sort of try to impeach her record of accounts of when she actually talked to her parents.
I got to say, I don't think this is off limits.
I don't think it's off limits either, but it feels very fishing expedition-y to me.
It does, and it feels like this is something that, if they did all this stuff for the Alberts.
Oh, I know. It would be amazing,
pulling
right?
pulling everybody's cell phone stuff, and these are people, some of them weren't, even at that party or whatever, then I think this is kind of in line with that, especially if you think this is somebody who communicated with the murderer in the hours after, that's the father, and, so... if they're just looking for a pattern,
right?
That seems kind of
that's the William one,
that's a pattern. But if they're looking for a particular communication that's incriminating, then I don't think that that's off limits. But
I wonder if they've traded in their phones since 2021.
I'm sure they've taken the SIM card and destroyed it.
I brought it to a military base.
And then
dumpster.
Yeah, instead of turning the phone in to get the ability to upgrade the next phone from Verizon, which everybody else in the world does when they buy a new cell phone.
Exactly.
They're just I have to destroy this.
I have to destroy it. I'm not just going to send it to Verizon and trade it in like everybody else, right?
I have important information on here regarding other cases that I don't want anyone to see, including myself.
Exactly. Okay, next small item. The Commonwealth has filed a protective order for Proctor's text messages, selected redactions in Proctor's text messages. They say the Commonwealth received in September, outside of the court order, certain partially redacted text messages referenced at trial in the Read matter. These text chains, however, contain full participant phone numbers and images of minor relatives of a deceased victim and unrelated Facebook friends. Non-parties have a privacy interest in not having their images or their complete cell phone numbers displayed. Some participants in the text chains have been subject to harassment and have a security interest in not having their personal identifying information released. Basically, what they're asking is that they're allowed to redact images and phone numbers, and that the dissemination of text chains be limited to counsel for the defendant, and that counsel for the defendant not duplicate or provide the text messages to any other person, including the defendant.
Okay, well, I was up with you until the end, until that one. That is kind of standard when they release things that they do redact what's considered personal information for those reasons, and that's not unreasonable. But your lawyer can have, in this case, your lawyer can have it, but the defendant can't.
That's what they're asking for.
That's what they're asking for, because now they're going to have to make an argument that giving it to the defendant would somehow be deleterious to their case, or that she would use that to intimidate people, and there's no pattern of that. But all right.
Well, she has had a couple hundred interactions with Aiden Carney, who's published information, so I think that they're trying to keep her from sending copies.
Yeah, which there's no evidence that she's done that. But all right.
Right. All right. So, funny post in Reddit. This is not important. It's just funny to me. Someone went to the Justice for Karen Read subreddit, which is the pro Karen Read subreddit, and put in all caps, "The ignorance of the Read supporters. Duh. KR didn't do that shit, but you people are mad dumb. Thinking the feds are on such a higher ethical plane. The idea the feds can't be corrupt as CPO is wild. Feds are just local cops whose parents had more money. We're not talking about Harvard, Yale, or MIT grads here. First response to that, Colin?
Maybe it's the person that used their Gmail account to pretend to send a cease and desist letter.
Exactly.
From yeah.
But what we do know, by the way, the feds do not have a perfect record, especially in Boston.
No, that's true.
And there's a reason why I believe they've brought in Whitey Bulger's former defense attorney to prosecute the next Karen Read case.
And why is that?
His whole argument was anti-FBI.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Okay, so, he doesn't love the feds. He's not going to respect the feds necessarily, right? But who knows? Maybe he's doing it because he's working with the feds. No, he's not. That's another stupid theory that got put out there. Okay. Interesting other thing from Reddit. Somebody who apparently claims to have some background and knowledge in this says, one thing that was neglected at trial around John O'Keefe's body and autopsy stuff is that his body's condition itself did not match someone who'd been out for 6 hours in freezing temperatures and a blizzard. This person's summary is that in blizzard conditions where the snow, wind, and low visibility further complicate survival, death could occur in as little as 2 to 3 hours, possibly sooner. The combination of rapid heat loss, frostbite, blood loss, and severe hypothermia would overwhelm your body, especially with a major wound and unconsciousness. Without shelter, clothing, or medical assistance, survival is extremely unlikely. Basically, this person says that even the wounds themselves would have been subjected to frostbite, because when you have an open wound in freezing conditions, it's easily subjected to frostbite. That actually did not come up. Hyperthermia was listed as a cause of his death, but it did not come up whether or not the condition of his body matched somebody who'd been out in the snow for 6 hours.
So the implication is that the body may not have been out there all that time.
No shit.
So it's more like a time of death kind of thing.
Exactly.
That they're trying to determine. Does this explain how this poster knows those medical details?
Oh, they're all in the court stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the medical examiner testified at the court stuff.
Okay. So the medical examiner didn't note any indication of frostbite anywhere.
No. And of course, this person's theory is that John was mortally wounded earlier in the morning, possibly shortly after arrival. He was kept in a sheltered but unsealed structure, like a barn or shed, possibly poorly insulated garage. He was then moved to the yard about an hour before he was found. By the way, this fits with a couple of pieces of testimony. They have him being moved. It fits with Lucky Loughran's testimony that there was no body on the lawn a couple of hours after John O'Keefe allegedly arrived at
when he
Fairview.
Did the snowplow down the street.
Correct.
Didn't spot anyone. Yeah, okay.
It also matches with multiple witnesses who, when leaving the party at 34 Fairview, said they never saw anything on the lawn.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Do we know exactly, because I have a question about this, do we know exactly like how close to the street he was?
It's set back from the street.
Like how far back?
I'm just going to guess 15, 20 feet, something like that.
Yeah. All right.
15 feet probably.
Okay, all right. Yeah, wow.
And it was found by this little flagpole. So they have in the...
So he was launched...
Well, if you look at their house, imagine this big colonial.
Yeah.
To the extreme right, there's a driveway with the attached garage. To the extreme left of the property, set in front of the fence to the backyard, not even in front of the house. It's like probably 150 feet or more away from the driveway. There's this mulched area with a flagpole.
Yep.
That is where the body was found, sort of where the body was found. Of course, we don't know exactly because the police never marked it.
Crime scene didn't tell you?
No, crime scene did never also mark where the body was.
Okay.
So
the reason I asked is, you're Lucky who drove the snowplow. It just occurred to me that, like, if he was close to the street, then the snowplow would have... Lucky might have not seen John there, but Lucky would probably have pushed a bunch of snow on him.
Right.
If you live in an area where the snow, if you live in a part of the country where, it snows heavily, you get that. So once you get your driveway, you still see, the street still has big snowbanks.
Right, which I believe, in my opinion, may have been a reason for putting his body on the lawn. I believe that perhaps I have two theories about this. One is that they didn't mean to leave the body on the lawn. It was put there to move it somewhere else. That it were interrupted in the process of moving it somewhere else.
Yeah.
My second theory, and I think this is more likely in terms of it fitting everything, is that they're like, what do we do? What do we do? What do we do? And the idea was, put him here. It will look like he got hit by a snowplow.
Yeah.
Because, that would match the things on his head. It would match the things on his arm. Lucky might...
No, it wouldn't. But okay, yeah, right.
But is it more likely that he's found outside, it looks like he was hit by a snowplow, or that, they were just thinking they leave him there and nothing would happen?
Yeah, I mean, if if you believe that he was killed inside the house and they're like thinking of next steps, it doesn't make a lot of sense to just leave him on the property.
Correct.
Right? Unless there was another reason for that.
Right.
Just to make it look like an accident. And then your theory would be that when the police arrived, the theory that they had was not anything to do with the snowplow. It was an accident, but it was Karen's car.
Correct.
That hit him, launched him, gave him wounds to the front and the back of his head, and all sorts of, puncture marks on his arm.
Right.
So anyway.
I just want to throw this out there because I've pointed this out a bunch of times. So have other people who have been paying close attention to this case. The two gentlemen from the company called ARCA, which were the experts that the feds hired to vet the evidence in the Karen Read case. And
all the physics and the things.
The physics. Yeah. They also did body stuff. And they don't even need the physics. They don't even need the data from the car to prove that he was not hit by a car. His body itself is evidence that he was not hit by a car. That was something that one of them said on the stand, and that's something that's asserted in the reports. By the way, reports that the prosecution also has access to. All right. So moving on. A couple of filings regarding media. The Commonwealth wants NBC Boston to give them all the raw material from the Dateline interview that Karen did on Dateline because the promo clip aired for the episode did not match the interview scene in the TV episode. Okay.
Right.
And basically the general argument they're doing here, by the way, they are also going after ABC and Hearst regarding the same for the 2020 episode, including all emails between Reed and the network, voicemails, etc. They're arguing that the local affiliate who aired it is not protected. They're also citing discrepancies between the NBC and ABC versions of Karen interviews. So this is an interesting area because, as we discussed earlier on the podcast, Massachusetts has no constitutional protection for reporters and their sources. However, both of these requests relate to national programs owned by NBC Universal and ABC Hearst. So the question is serving the ABC affiliate or Hearst affiliate in Boston and the ABC headquarters in Boston, the satellite headquarters, does that overcome that hurdle?
Well, as somebody who worked for an ABC station owned by Hearst, I can tell you they don't have any raw material. All that is created by the network. And what comes down for the studio is a complete package. They don't have anything to do with what happens on, even if it's in your own community, they don't have anything that happens on 2020. They just get, here's the promo, here's the copy, here's the stuff that you need to know as far as programming. They don't give any fucking raw material there.
Do you think that if the interview were filmed in Massachusetts, that a reporter working for NBC Universal or ABC Hearst programming would be subject to that lack of constitutional protection?
I think the point is moot. I just don't think they have that.
All right.
They might as well ask me for the raw material.
But they're trying to compel it from ABC.
Well, then they need to go to ABC.
They did. They actually did go to ABC. But they're saying they're going to serve them in Massachusetts, which makes it their jurisdiction.
But again, there's also a fundamental understanding about ABC and their local affiliate about what the ownership is there, right? And what the affiliation is there. If Channel 5 says, hey, fuck ABC, we want to go to CBS, which is what happened with Channel 4, Channel 7 years ago. They can do that because they aren't owned by ABC.
Correct.
So there's no, I don't know. It's just,
here's my question for you.
Again, they're trying to find a way around it, but it's not going to be fruitful.
No, but here's my question for you. And this is, given that you used to work for a station that was owned by Hearst, that you were a Hearst affiliate and you also aired ABC programming, correct?
Yeah.
ABC, let's say who owns 2020? That's actually ABC.
That's an ABC, yeah.
So
ABC News
actually owns the 2020 IP. All of the reporters and producers who work for 2020 are ABC employees, right? Are those employees protected in a way that local Massachusetts reporters are not? In terms of revealing information from sources.
Well, I mean, there's no explicit protection. There's no law. It doesn't mean that they won't have a legal argument. But, if they want to try to sue ABC, I mean, fuck around and find out about their lawyers.
They submitted an order trying to compel ABC to submit all this.
Who submitted the order?
The Commonwealth.
A court? The Commonwealth.
Yes.
The prosecution. They're going to tell them to fuck off.
Yes. I'm sorry. They submitted a filing, not an order.
Yeah, they submitted a filing. You can submit a filing. You can ask and request and send an affidavit, but that's not an order.
Right.
Unless you are suing them.
Right.
And still, they're going to be like, well, I mean, they're not suing Turtle Boy with this. They've got dozens and dozens of high-powered attorneys that deal with this all the time.
Right.
And they're like, okay, good, try to get the raw material. We're going to fight you on that.
Right.
I mean, talk about a fishing expedition.
Yeah. Do you want to hear just a little bit of their argument? This is regarding NBC One?
Yeah.
Okay. Now comes the Commonwealth. Respectfully requests its honorable court, pursuant to the statute, issue an order to NBC 10 Boston, Needham, Massachusetts, ordering the keeper of the records of NBC Boston to produce to the criminal court's office at Norfolk Superior Court the following. 1, the complete video and audio record of all interviews between the defendant and Dateline news correspondent Dennis Murphy.
They don't have that. Okay, move along.
The complete video and audio record of any statements made by the defendant, including but not limited to all raw video footage that was not aired.
Yeah, they don't have that.
Yeah, they just keep it's this whole list just keeps asking for more. Okay, so that was my assumption too. Yeah. Not only don't they have it, they're asking the wrong people.
That's not wrong people. It just shows their absolute lack of their ignorance about how any of that works.
Correct. All right. So finally, the Commonwealth has started filing all of their disclosure lists. This is evidence, of course, the Commonwealth will be sharing with the defense or potential witnesses. One of them is the Commonwealth's new dog bite expert, who, by the way, and of course, they need a dog bite expert. Why? The Commonwealth?
Because the defense is making that argument.
That there are dog bites on John
those wounds are dog bites. Yeah.
Right. Some internet sleuths was able to sort of dig up information on this dog bite expert. He has testified in other cases. He's one of these people. He's the head of a pro pit bull organization. One of the people who's against the demonization of dogs that may or may not bite people. So he's an animal. He's an animal advocate. Sort of an animal advocate.
Not a medical.
He's an expert of sorts. But he also has this other tie to animal advocacy. Okay, so that's interesting. And finally, the Commonwealth is entering into their evidence, or they're at least disclosing it, this 2000, from the year 2000, Mansfield, Massachusetts police report involving Karen Read. This is a 24-year-old report. Some say, Turtle Boy said it, but also I've seen it elsewhere, that this is related to a domestic violence complaint or incident made while Karen was at Bentley College. This was actually pulled...
As a student at Bentley,
at Bentley College, okay? And so she apparently was the victim of a domestic violence incident, maybe. And then this is what Carney tweeted. Acting on a Twitter rumor from the McAlberts, the Commonwealth pulled this police report from Waltham Police last March before the trial began. It was never entered into evidence in the first trial. Okay. So either what this disclosure means is that they're planning to enter it into evidence, or they're giving it to the defense because it's exculpatory. So it's one of those two things.
Okay.
So it's one of those two things. We don't know why.
Again, exculpatory or irrelevant. I mean, I think it's more prejudicial than probative if you're going to talk about something that she did, unless it is that she ran somebody over with her car while she was in college.
Which would also be prejudicial.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It seems like more prejudicial than probative.
Yeah.
But again, we don't know what it is. Yeah. But I think that's probably the argument the defense will make as far as keeping it out. They've kept out like so many things that one, a common sense person would say like, oh, that's relevant. The jury should hear that. To me, just like at first blush, that kind of falls there. But okay.
Yeah. I mean, maybe. Again,
the Commonwealth is wise to turn over whatever they have,
correct? Of course,
and let the defense determine, whether it's valuable to them, even if it's not valuable to the Commonwealth.
Absolutely.
Because this is kind of a pattern with this case.
But could you imagine again if they put any effort into pulling the same past police incidents regarding any of the other people involved in this case?
Well, with the McAlberts, I mean, we've got how many of the people involved have been involved in drunk driving accidents, including a fatal one.
That was Chris Albert.
Yeah.
Who was involved in a fatal drunk driving accident that he then fled.
And then he fled.
Of arrest for something like 30 days or something like that. It was a long time. And then he was basically given, I think, just a short sentence or probation or something. But he literally killed somebody with his car and then fled.
And then fled. How did he he wasn't able to be a law enforcement officer after that, right?
That may have been when he retired from there.
Yeah.
Paul O'Keefe was involved in a drunk driving incident several years ago that led to somebody's life-altering injury.
That's the brother of the victim, right?
Fine. I mean, but these are people that, the only reason that would be relevant is people repeatedly assert that Karen is an evil drunk driver. Karen is an evil driver. And it's like, maybe keep that part to yourself. And then I
think we, both sides can agree that perhaps all of the players in this
Nobody's
drama.
hands are clean.
Nobody's hands are clean when it comes to overconsumption of alcohol.
No.
And all these people should probably get sponsors and go to the same meeting.
And so a lot of people aren't clean with regard to violence. I mean, we have video of one of the witnesses in the case who testified they never fight. They never gotten into a fight.
Mm-hmm.
We have video of him bragging about fighting.
Yeah.
And we have video of him, sparring.
Impeachment material.
Yeah, we literally have that, but, that didn't seem to make much of a difference.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, for all people in that, I don't really know whether or not that's probative, but okay. But you're right. It's like if it's a pot calling the kettle black, but as far as the legal argument, I don't know how far that goes.
So let's just do a quick roll call of likely impeached witness today, state's witnesses.
You got a spreadsheet going?
I don't have a spreadsheet, but I can just name a few off the top of my head. Lieutenant Detective Brian Tully, who has now been admonished. He actually perjured himself on the stand by saying that he had disciplined people that he had not disciplined.
Yep. Okay.
We have Buchanan, who was involved in that nasty text chain and a bunch of other shenanigans. We have Proctor, the lead investigator on the case, who has been not fired, but everything but fired.
He's still on suspension?
I believe he's still in some weird gray limbo area.
Yeah.
And there's a rumor that he has gone to work for the same private security firm that Brian Albert has gone to work at. That's just a rumor.
I think everybody knows his days with the state police are numbered, but okay.
Correct. And there is this whole pro-Proctor campaign that's been happening online.
Sure, his friends and buddies and other law enforcement people.
Wonderful families. Life has been ruined. Think of the children. Who should have thought of the children?
You should have thought of the children.
Exactly. Yeah. So basically all the cops that testified, including, by the way, Nicholas Guarini, who I believe can also now be impeached because of materials related to the Sandra Birchmore case.
Yeah. He missed quite a bit in that murder case.
He missed quite a bit in that murder case. They'll be able to just throw that out there now that arrest has happened. And, it wasn't enough to say, hey, here are all of these reports the feds were able to get that you somehow missed in the Karen Reed case. Yeah. But, so basically Guarini, Proctor, Tully, Buchanan. All horrible or non-witnesses for the state. I think the defense will call all four.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Wouldn't you?
I don't know if I need... Yeah.
I'd call Guarini. I'd call Tully.
You definitely you got to call Proctor.
And I'd call Proctor.
Especially if you think Proctor did shit. Tully, I don't know. Tully... If Tully isn't going to be at the second trial, testifying to anything criminal, then I don't know what the reason is to bring him in.
The reason I would bring him in is to say, were you or were you not disciplined for not reprimanding your employees for this? Did you or did you not testify that you did reprimand your employees? Wasn't that perjury? That's why I would bring him in.
Yeah, but okay, so you got, again, it's the... Yeah, okay, fine.
I would just show these cops are liars. What I would try to show if I were the defense at this point is a pattern of lying cops in this unit.
Okay, yeah. That's a good strategy.
You've got Guarini not finding, so-called not finding anything. You've got Proctor, obviously, impeached for many reasons.
Yeah.
Tully lied on the stand. You have it's a good pattern. All right, well, that's it for the Readathon. That's what I had for you today.
Oh, I'm glad you saved up on all that.
I did save up on all it. And also, I'm going to be away for a couple of days. And, every time I go anywhere, that's when shit seems to go down in this case. So let's hope. But you know where I'm going?
I don't know.
For a couple of days.
Boston.
Maybe I'll see something in person. You never know. Maybe I'll run into Karen on the streets. If I do, trust me, I'm taking a photo.
Yeah. Well, it'll be a Saturday, so maybe there'll be a free Karen Reed demonstration
potentially.
Over some overpass. Yeah.
All right. Well, Kevin, thanks so much for joining me for this edition of the Readathon.
You got it.
Partners in Crime Media.